My name is Nick. I'm co-founder and CEO at Assisterr, and we're building human-driven data economy with small language models approach. We're a Cambridge-based startup. We start back in 2022 with thinking like, okay, what we can do by utilizing AI for Web3 space. And I had a background in AI space. I had a background as a head of ecosystem growth in Web3 protocols since 2017. And we found that there is a lot of inefficiency into how protocols and developer-facing organizations run in the processes of supporting developers, building relationship with them, supporting tech documentation. So we start with this AI agents automating DevRel support, which right now it's standalone business. We already have live integration with Solana, Optimism, with many other guys in this space. And we simply save them money with AI automation by automating documentation part, by automation support, and other things. But as soon as we start working on this, we start getting requests from big protocols like Solana, like, hey guys, that's amazing, but we still have too many requests that cannot be supported automatically by AI. And we start thinking like, okay, we can add ticket system. We can process this manually. Your DevRel team can process this request from your community manually if our AI agents cannot provide support. But then amount of tickets get like bigger, especially if the protocol grows on the price. And there is a question like how to incentivize community to provide support, peer-to-peer support to other people. That's where we start thinking like how to scale what we are building, how to make it more interesting, and how to put community in the loop. And we found that there is a big problem, and we experienced this by building this use case for DevRel, that there is this, we call it last mile challenge with data required for AI model accuracy. And you see these graphs is basically if we're taking a base model, they can be quite different, depends on amount of parameters, depends on the budget spent by the company, so the accuracy would be quite different. But as soon as we add into LLMs, RAG process, they became almost equally in terms of accuracy. And if that's true, the question is like, why should I spend hundreds of millions or billions on training large language models or keep using this like centralized LLMs if I can use open source model or any model, but then add additional knowledge that would be up to date and would be adding this additional accuracy and context for domain-specific purposes. And these big tech guys, which exist in the space, they actually end up with the same conclusions, because right now you probably heard about Reddit, Stack Overflow, with Quora deals with big tech guys. What they are doing, they need community-generated content, user-generated content, because it provides this last-mile accuracy, but they don't want to pay you, they don't want to pay us for using our content, our data, our data sets. And we believe that it should be fixed because current data market for AI is kind of broken because there is mistrustworthy data provenance mechanisms that can allow us to check, okay, was my data used at some AI model? Was my data used by some specific application? And big tech companies, they don't have any incentive to implement this mechanism because it means that they need to share profits with you. While if there is no such mechanism, no need to prove anything and no any instruments to fairly evaluate and reward data contributors. So to address these challenges, we develop our on-chain data provenance protocol that enabling incentive-driven network of small language model. Where DePIN here is basically we empowering people to contribute data to each small language model. This model can be stored on decentralized infrastructure, centralized on your personal network. And then we also tracking who, when, and how change or affect a data set which is behind the model. And in that way, each of us or any user can get fair rewards, especially if the model data set which this specific person was contribute to was actually queried. So there is a mechanism how to even check and fairly reward. Let's say there is 100% of data sets behind the model, and only 10% of this data is actively used by user basically querying by users. In this way, we can define which data and who was behind some ambition of this data and reward these people most, while other people, other contributor would be rewarded less. We recently, like 2.5 months ago, we won Autonomous Agent Hackathon at East Denver with this solution. And let's go a little bit deeper into the roles and how everything works. So we have 4 roles at this moment of time. So you can join ecosystem as a small language model creator. Basically, you will define which domain you want to target, which small language model you want set up, and you would be organizing people around this model so they would be basically contributing data or acting as validators. Also, we have data contributors. It's people or experts in specific domain zones who have knowledge, experience, expertise. It can be statistic information, user research, like whatever else. And they contribute data to the models which they have expertise in. Then we have a role of data validators, which is highly important because otherwise we will end up with spam models where people would be just like running for this like bounty or reward system or tokens, and they would just spam and lower down the quality and accuracy of the model. So the role of validator is to validate the quality of the data based on different parameters. And then we have a mechanism. If something happened and we will discover that the data contributor and data validator, they validated wrong data, low quality data, we have a mechanism how to penalize these people. And they also need, there is a staking mechanism to secure the network and other things. And also end users, they're going to be using applications. Why it's important for them? Because in the future, or even now, we have 3 options. We have Google search or any search engine. We have LLMs, which are averagely good and averagely bad for any use case. And we're going to have small language approach. And I'm betting, and our team believes that in the second half of 2024, small language approach is going to be super popular and hyping because we're discovering that large language models with these averagely results for everything, that's not something that business and real users want to use and want to have. In terms of the user flow, basically, users right now can register at Assisterr, choose a role, set up and trace small language models based on the data sets, information that they have. Then they can choose different service providers. Right now, we are partnering with IO.net in terms of decentralized storage, zero gravity protocol, other service providers. You can choose basic models that you want to use as a basic infrastructure and also add some crypto payroll. We're going to add Monad support, Solana support, and also EVM chain soon. Then you can customize UI UX. Right now we support different conversational chatbots. Right now we support web widgets that can be inbuilt in any web service that your company or your team is using actively. And then you're listing it on small language model marketplace. We're going to launch it next week. Where anyone can find your model, can choose the models which they want to contribute in, or join as a validator. That's pretty it. Right now we are running several use cases. So DevRel use case, which I mentioned, is already live. It's already generating revenue. We have 20 live integration with different protocols, while we're also running proof of concept with crypto analytics teams, with M&A deal flow teams in London, and a couple other use cases. From token utility perspective, so we have tokens that can be used as a vesting and also on a staking. Staking will allow you to governance and affect different decisions in terms of each small language model, but also on a protocol on an infrastructure level as well. Also, we have data ownership register, which basically keep track records about who, when, and how submit some specific information to this small language model. And it's allow us not to put the whole model on chain because we don't think that it's reasonable at this point of time because it doesn't give any pluses or efficiency to the speed of interaction, speed of training, and all of this. And also, we expect to launch next quarter kind of small language model launchpad, which would be allowing people to tokenize small language models that they want to build. So if you have some knowledge or domain-specific background, and people know that you can build and feed this model with your data, and you can organize community of 10, 100 people, maybe 1,000 people around you, they can also stake additional our tokens and incentivize you to build this application, to build this use case faster, and support your community in that way. And of course, you're going to be sharing profits from this small language model with the community who support it. We see huge market opportunity. So Bloomberg estimates that Gen AI-powered application is going to be bigger market than App Store as it is right now. And there are some companies who are running some, at least targeting this space in different ways, like Sahara, MyShell, OAuth, FetchAI, and so on. The difference that we're targeting, we try to tokenize not only the protocol level, but also each application, each model level, where community can contribute and get some incentives for contributing the data that wasn't discoverable before, and anytime before. And right now, anyone would be able to get exposure to this. So imagine you want to launch your product on B2C product on a China market. So you would get some small language models that train on B2C data by B2C experts with specific exposure on China market. And there would be such use cases, just like endless amount of use cases that could be done in this model by using our infrastructure, by using our approach. There are several companies, as I mentioned, who targeted this space. The difference between us and them, we have working infrastructure, we have already revenue, and we keep running this. So we want to get more exposure with more use cases. So that's my call to action to audience that is here. So first, we are hiring AI researcher to work on decentralized vector DB. So it's something, if it's something that is interesting to you, I would love to chat after this call. And also, we are welcome to join the ecosystem as a small language model creator, data contributor, and data validator. That's it. You can follow us. Thank you for your time.
Great. Thank you very much. Round of applause.